people. Let's take another scenario. There'll be members of the audience listening thinking, I'm quite careerist. I want to earn more money. I want to be more fulfilled. And as you go up in an organization, you've got the pyramid, the classic triangle. And ultimately, for the top jobs, there's more competition and there's less of them. So let's talk about, Ade, how do you differentiate yourself when it comes to emotional intelligence to go for those top jobs? Because if you've got two candidates and they've got equal IQ, the EQ is going to affect their career. Career advancement comes down to two things: your drive for results and your relationship with your boss. So if your results are great, but you've got a terrible relationship with co-workers and your boss, you're not going to get that promotion. So talk us through some hints and tips, because you've clearly been promoted several times over the years. What sort of tactics would you deploy to just help that career advancement? Maybe there's some schoolboy errors that get made over the years, and some really silly things that we say or do, and how can you eradicate those things?
Yeah, I think if you work for a good organization, the first thing is, I think you can't stamp your way to the top. You've got to get on with people. And getting on with people is emotional intelligence. We can put kind of tags on things, and we can put analysis behind it and do all the kind of assessments that I do and all the rest of it. Fundamentally, you've got to understand people, get on with people, be able to express yourself, and be able to take people with you. If you want to lead, you need to take people with you. You can't bully them into coming with you. So I think, first of all, in order to help you develop those skills, the first thing is understanding yourself. So self-awareness is really, really critical. Are you aware of how you are, who you are, how you impact other people? Oh, there's a wonderful thing. I was talking to a senior guy a director in one of the big banks a couple of weeks ago. We were chatting about my work and what I'm doing. And I said to him, it's really important that people understand the impact that they're having on others. And he said, yes, Aidan, it's really important they understand the impact they're not having on others. And I thought, you know what? That's a brilliant point. Sometimes we think that we're having an impact on other people, and we're just not having an impact whatsoever. So self-awareness is critical. You can just go, if you have a look online, you can Google emotional intelligence. There'll be Goleman's model there, or there's the EQI2 model, both worth looking at. I've worked with coaches before I was qualified to kind of do a professional assessment of it, and suggested to people that they just score where they think they are out of 10. Where do you think you are on these 15 composites? And let's have a conversation about it. Now, there's a fundamental flaw in that process. The fundamental flaw in that process is one of the composites is self-perception. So if you're pretty weak at perceiving yourself and you score yourself 10 out of 10, that's not great, is it? So maybe find a little buddy at work, somebody you get on really well with, who you can have an open conversation with. If you're motivated to develop and improve, find someone else, do an assessment with the other person, score it up yourself out of 10, get them to score themselves out of 10, score each other, go into a private and confidential conversation where you agree you're there to help each other and not start judging each other, and hold a conversation around, oh, you scored me 2 less than I scored myself. I thought I was, really good at being with my empathy. I thought I showed great empathy, Sean. You'd turn around and say, well, actually, Ade, I said something to you the other day and you weren't listening. It wasn't quite right for me, and here's how I felt about it. If you want to learn, get ready for the conversations that are involved in learning. But what's wrong with that with somebody who you know and get on with? It's a fantastic way to reflect. And upon that self-reflection and asking other people to help you out with that, you can baseline where you are, and then you can look at how you can improve those skills. And interestingly, I know we've not talked about this before, I assessed my own emotional intelligence as part of my studies in April, and it was reassessed again in August when I was qualified. And I saw a difference in what I'd worked on. What I also found really fascinating was I'd picked one particular skill to home in on and to spend time on. I've seen a couple of others that were a bit lower than I wanted, and I wanted them to improve. But I thought I'll park those for now because they're not as important as this other one. They also went up over the period. And the reason they went up over the period is once you make me aware of something, I can't ignore it. So self-awareness is a great start to improvement.